Matt Walsh first. We're also calling him Waste Management because his logo just is so bad.
New York Times has this headline.
Look at this thing. New York Times has a headline, but look at this. Yeah, the real headline is this looks like a fucking dump truck. And it cycles through dump truck colors. It's just such a terrible design. Whoever made it did not like Matt Walsh, and that's funny. Looks real bad. Anyway, he looks like a dump truck driver. He would be great as a dump truck driver. You know what? Let's move towards a society that would have this man working as a dump truck driver. Instead of, I'm sure there's lots of really entertaining. Tell you what, pit him against we'll call it 19 funniest, most entertaining. They can even be right-wing dump truck drivers in a reality contest to see if they can do the job better than him. And if he loses, he has to go do a dump truck. I just don't want to look at Matt Walsh anymore. But we're doing it. We're doing it. We need to stop normalizing mental illness. It's making it worse. Fascinating.
The headline is, "This is not the way to help depressed teenagers." And it is an op-ed that it's worth reading the entire thing. Read a little bit of it. It says, Dr. Saxby is a clinical psychologist and professor of psychology at the University of Southern California. Ever since the pandemic, when rates of teenage suicide, anxiety, and depression spiked, policymakers around the world have pushed to make mental health resources more broadly available to young people through programming in schools and on social media platforms. The strategy is well attended.
Are we forgetting the lamps? We are, because you made me smoke so much weed. Chat, lamps! Canadian Unicorn, Purple Nickel, Puppo. Let me know. You're 100% right. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to keep doing this, though.
Pensioned. Traditional therapy can be expensive and time-consuming. Access can be limited. By contrast, large-scale light touch interventions, TikTok offerings from Harvard School of Public Health, grief coping workshops in junior high, aim to reach young people where they are and at relatively low cost. But there's now reason to think that this approach is risky. Recent studies have found that several of these programs not only failed to help young people, they also made their mental health problems worse. Understanding why these efforts backfired can shed light on how society can and can't help teenagers who are suffering from depression and anxiety.
Okay, so now I'm suspicious about what they mean when they say mental health. How are they making it worse? How is that? How do you make it worse by giving someone resources to a mental health provider? I did, Puppo, yeah. He just distracted me. He didn't distract me. He's what I was paying attention to. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate your stuff. We're putting all the good stuff. There we go. We got Ace Poly. And that's our first trans lamp this month? Wow. That's surprising. So is he pro real therapy? Nah, of course not. No, I don't know what this is. So the only way this could backfire, in my opinion, is if they were doing a poor job of administering mental health care. Like, what were they doing?
Consider a social-emotional skills training school program called Wise Teens, led by clinical psychologists in training.
Wise Teens. What am I going to find out about this? Teen Wise. I don't know. What? I'm not seeing this anywhere. I see Teen Wise. Teen Wise. I don't even see this. Wise Teens, yeah. Teen Wise. I'm scared to click on any of this shit. Teen Wise. Teen coaching. Private one-on-one coach. This is not it. What? I can't even look it up. Maybe if I go psychology. Just the article? Why we need to be wise is I am not even seeing. I can't even Google this. What the fuck? I can only maybe if I go to the article, but I don't have a time subscription, so it's probably gonna be fucking paywalled, right? Yep. Oh, it's just gonna be one of them. Study. See, this is what I want to read. School. What? Zen Buddhism? Fucking cognitive behavior therapy. This is what I'm saying. Like, what are we teaching these kids? Health class. Mindfulness programs with British teenagers found that the program did not improve mental health and then in fact led to worse anxiety and emotional problems. What? What are they doing in these programs? What are they saying to these kids? Calls this phenomenon prevalence inflation. Are mental health awareness efforts contributing to the rise in reported mental health problems? A call to test prevalence inflation? The abstract. In the past decade, there have been extensive report efforts in the West world to raise public awareness about mental health problems and the goal of reducing. Have a fantastic day. Puppo, thanks for giving one a deep fried bussy. I see why you gave a subscription to Deep Fried Bussy. I like that. EMDR therapy is amazing. I haven't been. What is your experience like? I've gone through EMDR twice now. It's fucking awesome. Wait, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Talking about like mescaline trips, or is this just a... I don't know the acronym. Despite these efforts, reported rates of mental health problems have increased in these countries over the same period. So this seems like mental health awareness. In this paper, so this is like when rape, the accounts of rape went up in, what was it, Sweden or something, when they broadened correctly the definition of it under the law. And they're like, why did this happen? So... it's just a kind of therapy? Yeah, but what? Okay, well, now you're going to make me look it up instead of just saying it? You guys. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy is a mental health treatment technique. The method involves moving your eyes in specific ways while you process traumatic memories. EMDR's goal is to help you heal from trauma. How does it work? Fascinating. Is it so that you associate like decent images with these memories to lower your rate of like associating whatever flashbulb image is in your head for that particular trauma?
I hope you have a fantastic day.
Is that it? Puppo Chief of Head Pats. Thanks for giving one to Emmy Strange. Give one to everybody out here. Thank you. To simulate rapid eye movement while going through traumatic events and processing them. So it's like putting your body in a similar... So it's sort of like when you remember dreams in a certain sleeping position, you're kind of putting your body through the same physical motions as when you would experience a traumatic event under non-stressful circumstances to retrain your brain into not having a fucking response? Like a bad one? Oh, yeah, okay. I nailed it. Wolf Lady. I nailed it. I'm real smart, guys. Okay? I can put me in, coach. Let me do science. Where's the science at? Let me do some science right now. I'm obviously very intuitive with it.
It consists of 8 weekly hour-long classroom sessions in which students learn to manage their emotions with the help of tools and principles drawn from cognitive behavior therapy and Zen Buddhism.
Is he going to laugh at Zen Buddhism while being a Catholic? Do it.
Last month, the journal Behavior Research and Therapy published a study of about 1,000 Australian teenagers who were observed from 2017 to 2018. One group participated in WISE Teens, another group participated in standard health class curriculum. And just to summarize, it turns out that the students who were in this kind of therapeutic environment fared worse. And then there are other examples that they bring forth of students who are in these kind of therapeutic programs meant to help them cope with anxiety and depression, but it actually makes them worse.
So do the kids report that it's worse, or do more kids report having it? I'm interested in this. So my inclination is to, can you believe, to steelman what I read in the New York Times article, okay? To steelman this and what he's reading. And to say, okay, well then if this is true, then I want to know what is happening in the treatments to make this the case, because this is not the reported experience of people who get mental health treatment in general, right? So you would just assume that they're doing some kind of different thing. When you tell me they are putting Zen Buddhism stuff in this, it makes me think, oh, we're doing woo-woo shit that doesn't help anybody, and whatever they're telling these people is increasing their anxiety levels and making them uncomfortable, even though they think it's, you know, they're going in there to be helped because, you know, some woo-woo motherfucker told them that it was going to work. I was reading the article.
And why is that happening? Well, there's a few theories that are put forward. It says, first, by focusing teenagers' attention on mental health issues, these interventions may have unwittingly exacerbated their problems. Lucy Folks, an Oxford psychologist, calls this phenomenon prevalence inflation. When greater awareness of mental illness leads people to talk of normal life struggles in terms of symptoms and diagnoses, these sorts of labels begin to dictate how people view themselves in ways that can become fulfilling.
Okay, so there is a bit of truth to this. There is, I mean, obviously this is like a real thing, prevalence inflation. But like, your mindset does have a lot to do with how you're being. Like, not just like fucking be happy like Matt Walsh is going to say. Hey, just fucking smile. Smile more. It'll make you happy. But like, maybe it's a sports jock shit situation again. But I'm right, and you should listen to me. You need a little jock in your life. You need a little bit of rah-rah. You need somebody to gas you up in your life, okay? And I'm here for that for you right now because nobody else will, okay? Sometimes you just need to have confidence in yourself because you're going to miss the shot if you think you're going to miss. You know what I'm saying? It goes for anything. Like you just gotta put your whole chest into whatever you're doing and just like have confidence that whatever you're saying or doing is you know, you don't have to care about what other people are doing. You care about like do you know that what you're saying is true, or you know, whether it's talking or whether it's doing something, like, you know, can you actually sing them? Like, do you just want to sing? Does it matter if you can sing? Fucking do it. I don't know. It's harder. It's easier said than done. But having self-confidence is the first, like, truly trying to gas yourself up and believing it. Like, I guess it's not an active process for me, but like, I don't know, you just sort of foster it. I don't know how to do it without just rah-rahing your ass and making you believe in yourself individually one at a time, like a fucking coach or something, but like, I don't know. People, my confidence, because I'm a chubby guy that, I don't know, they think I shouldn't have confidence in something. Like, my confidence is so self-generated, and it's not because I'm like cocky or something. It's like self-generated. Anyway, that is to say that I do think that there is some version of this where if you think that you are going to have a bad day and you're just really dwelling on how bad of the day you're going to have, you're probably going to have a bad day, because it's like how your mindset is on, I'm going to have a bad day. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things. Now, that's not, you know, clinical depression is very different from what I'm describing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're your own worst enemy, it will happen. And we've all done this to ourselves. Like when you're hard on yourself, you ever talk to somebody when you're hard on yourself? You ever outwardly express the kinds of criticisms you're giving yourself to somebody else and they're always like, you're full of shit? It's because you're full of shit. You're wrong sometimes about yourself. Anyway.
Teenagers who are still developing their identities are especially prone to take psychological labels to heart. Instead of saying, I am nervous about X, a teenager might say, I can't do X because I have anxiety. A reframing that research shows undermines resilience by encouraging people to view everyday challenges as insurmountable.
Who uses that kind of language, though? Maybe? I don't know. This seems like very simple, and he's going to just stop at this part.
Okay, so you can read the entire thing.
You could read the entire thing. So there were other things that they were thinking it could be, but anyway. I would love to know what they're actually saying inside these therapy sessions. As someone who was raised in Catholicism, Matt Walsh is in a rank of many papal crazies. Papa. I read papa. I was going to say it funny, but no.
So this is what we're starting to see is that more and more people are only beginning, just barely starting to understand the problems with living in a therapeutic culture.
Oh my God, we don't live in a therapeutic culture. We live in a culture of people that have mental health issues that cannot get them addressed. There is such a difference between identifying as your mental illness and then just understanding you have mental illnesses, right? Lots of people have anxieties without having anxiety. These are different things. Like lots of people feel depressed and don't have depression, right? Like this is normal. Everyone goes through days, life is not easy. Life is a complicated thing. We are complicated little social creatures. And he complicates it. He makes it worse.
Culture where everyone is encouraged to constantly think about themselves and their own emotional states and be going to therapy.
Think about themselves and be going to therapy and their emotional states. Yeah. I mean, so this doesn't give other people stress. If it stresses you out to think about your emotional state, I mean, yeah, you probably need a mental health care. Like, you can assess yourself. You can be like, okay, am I being an asshole? Am I being emotional? Am I being reasonable? Like, assess yourself. You talk to other people, ask opinions. Like, hey, am I out of pocket here? No, this other person's fucking crazy. Okay, cool. Like, you need, especially Matt Walsh, like emotional. An understanding of your emotions and how they are real and affect you is good. You don't have to know any clinical shit. You just have to be aware of yourself. Like earlier today, I was talking to Sarah about an issue we have, not with each other. Something was frustrating me, and I expressed to her my innate sort of like Kyle energy, where it's like, man, I just want to like punch a wall, and it's like I didn't punch a wall, but like just expressing that. It's like, why does my monkey brain want me to punch a wall? You don't have to punch a wall though. You can talk yourself out of that. And
be taking medicine and everything all the time. A society where the human condition has been categorized and medicalized and diagnosed. I think people are starting to see the issues with it. Now, I've been talking about this problem for years. Mostly I've been ignored.
Aw, poor Matt. Matt has a slew of mental health illnesses. he's pretty clearly like a narcissist. He's pretty obviously not a very kind person. He's probably got some shit going on there. His kids are probably fucked up. Matt's issue about this says more about him than other people. I think Matt's upset about the upset. New name dropped. I think Matt's upset over this because if he thinks about himself for even a second, he's gonna hate what he finds. I think a lot of right wingers do not want to reconcile with the harm they do. A lot of them will deny it outwardly, but if you can demonstrate to them harm, it makes them very uncomfortable. Those shooters and stuff make these guys really uncomfortable. I think it takes its toll a little bit on these guys as they just get more hate.
I'm still mostly ignored about it.
He should be.
But I think in the coming years, people will increasingly wake up to this.
Wake up.
And they will see that we have just entirely handed our culture, our country, ourselves, our humanity.
It's always the worst.
Over to the psychiatric industry.
Oh my fucking God. It's always so dramatic, Matthew. Oh my God. We're handing over our very souls to the psychological sector. I don't think so. I think you just have mental health awareness. Man, all you need to do is provide people with a space to talk, to have some, not even neutrality, have someone in their corner. Like a therapist should be maybe not 100% supportive all the time. They probably need to check their patients once in a while. But like having someone to rationally talk to about life, right? From a perspective of someone who's going through training to like understand stuff, because sometimes our brains are actually fucked up. A lot of people have stuff. It would be 100% unshocking to know with certainty that every human has some form of mental illness, simply because we all experience trauma. We all experience life, and we know that our little monkey brains cannot process this shit. We think ourselves so fucking high and mighty and smart, and like I don't know, if I'm fucking 5 years old and I see like my dog get hit by a car, I'm fucked up forever. You know what I mean? Like it's all it takes. That's fucked. And it's like, I don't know, man. And especially being Catholic or something, and like in dealing with any sort of death. Ugh. Anyway, waste management is just like, why does he have these takes about mental health? Has he ever been to a therapist, you think? Nah. Imagine being Matt Walsh's therapist.
Which means that over time, people will see that the issues stretch far beyond what the New York Times has been talking about. What we've done, focusing just on young people for a moment, what we've done is we have programmed them to look inwards, always. So like they don't see the outside world. They're constantly staring back at themselves, thinking about...
Oh, and their little Black Mirror phones staring back at themselves. I disagree, dude. I think people are very social.
Themselves, thinking about how they're feeling, thinking about how they feel about how they feel, and how they feel about how they feel about how they feel. It creates this like...
Oh my God, not feelings, dude. The gay? Feelings are gay. Everyone knows that.
Infinite regress...
It's not.
...of self-obsession.
It's fucking not self-obsession to assess yourself. It is not self-obsession. I think Matt Walsh doesn't like this because therapy is about other people that aren't him. He's like, I was ignoring about this. Shut up. I don't know if anyone's ever taken a genuine assessment of themselves before. Like, it's hard to step outside of yourself, but you can like ask yourself questions, man. And it's like, okay, well, I know this about myself. I know how to change it. Am I going to change it? Yes or no? And it's like, why? Why this or that? Oh, man. You're not going to be perfect, but you can. I don't know a single person in life. They're probably all men if I do know them. I don't know many people that I've talked to about this issue and haven't like had times when they thought to themselves, wow, I am just being so fucking unreasonable about whatever it is they're thinking. There's lots of people that think that they're stupid sometimes. Like genuinely, you're like, damn, I'm just stupid. Because we're all fallible. We need to be able to do that. Therapy goes crazy sometimes. Therapy is great. You should be able to do that. Man, this is stupid. Why is Matt Walsh so upset about people talking about their feelings?
And they can't get out of their own heads.
Is this one of those videos where you can do a second story after the ad?
Not in the sense that we used to use phrases like that. In the past, if you had said that, oh, that person can't get out of their own head, you might have meant it in the sense that like their head's in the clouds. And
he wears a waste management shirt. I didn't know that was branded. It looks like a razor blade. Which would be fucking also hilarious. Here you go. You bought a Matt Walsh shirt? You purchased Matt Walsh merch? All right, here's the razor blade, man. Just in case.
And this is someone who's, say, very philosophically minded, very intellectual person. Someone...
Yeah, he's a fucking hipster, dude. You're right. Oh my God. He's actually a hipster. Ugh. Maybe that's part of the reason I fucking hate him. Maybe that's it. It's like, you're a hipster, dude. Shut up. Goes out with his fishing pole that he's never used.
That can't get out of his own head because he's constantly contemplating the mysteries of the universe, or he's thinking about the nature of consciousness and where it comes from. And that's...
You don't want to... What? The nature of consciousness is interesting. These men are so fucking stupid. Why are they all scared to think deeply about things? That's such an interesting conversation. The nature of consciousness. Catholic. I forgot. Catholic. Never mind. As a naturalist, as an observer of material reality, I think it's deeply fascinating. Because humans, for some reason, have this like, well, my consciousness is definitely not just my brain. It's like, shut up. It is. It's your brain, guys. You are your brain. You are absolutely your brain, 100%. You're also the other stuff, but you're mostly your brain. If I personally, with an axe, with Matt Walsh's real lumberjack axe, chopped your arms and legs off to eat them, because that's what I would do, you would still be just your brain. But if I poke your brain with my finger, like Jeffrey Dahmer or eat part, you're not you anymore, or you're slowly less you, as I consume your brains. Yeah, but why does the brain do what it does? Now that's interesting. Now we're talking. I love the idea that okay. This is cool. Naturalism, let's go. This is why being an atheist is better than being a religious person, because it's more interesting. It's part of the reason. If you think magic is cool, wait until you find out about real life. We are probably more than one, but you are at least one continuous electrical impulse that hasn't stopped running in your brain since you started being alive. You are an electrical impulse. If it shuts off, you're done. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. We're like meats and stuff. We got meats and electricity and fucking goo. We're big tubes. This is the top of my butthole right here. Is this TOS? This is literally the top of my butthole. Think about it. That's the tippy top right there. That's the lid. Strange. Normal philosophy tends to put these people yearning for therapy. Guess that's why Matt hates both. True.
That sort of thing. There's that sense in which a person can't get out of their own heads. And the thing is, say what you want about that kind of mentality. It's obviously much better for the individual.
Kissing is just eating ass the long way. In the same way, like long division, yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's more like kissing is like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but it's like how much of your butthole am I touching right now? And the mouth is like a 4 out of 5. How much am I touching your butthole? Am I touching your mouth? Well, that's the top of it.
And for humanity, then this sense of not being
it's your thrussy
able to get out of your own head.
A throat?
Which is that we've got all these young people and older people who are trapped in their own heads not because they're thinking about something.
Humans develop beginning with the anus since we're deuterostomes. We don't start at the belly button? We start butthole first? The first thing the first human cells are butthole cells? Shut up. You stop it. You gotta have an exit before anything goes in. Started from the bottom, now we here. What is the first body part to develop in a fetus? The nervous system. What part? We are anus first. Butthole is part of the nervous system. Deuterostome? Oh, probably that. Second mouth. Bilateral animals in superphylum of Deuterostomia, typically characterized by their anus forming before... Oh, it doesn't form first. It forms before the mouth. Gotcha. It's not the first thing to form. It's simply we are assholes before we have mouths. Yeah. So, actually, I was wrong. I'm sorry, chat. Don't look it up, but I was wrong. This is not the top of my asshole. This is the bottom of my asshole. And I'm upside down right now. Yeah. Glad I tuned in to stream tonight. Me too. I'm happy to have you. Anyway, we learned a lot. Thank you, Matt. That's That's the bottom of Matt Walsh's butthole. His looks more like a butthole than mine.
Beyond themselves, and they're contemplating mysteries of the universe, and not because they're too intellectual and not practical enough, but because they're just bundles of emotion, and they're always thinking about it. All of their attention is turned back within themselves. The holidays are rapidly.
So is this ad gonna mean that we're doing a new? Wow, that's another 2-minute ad, huh? A whole 2 minutes for that. Of the 11-minute runtime, like 15% of the video? Fucking great job. Wow. Okay. Waste management is continuing. Is he going to talk about this still, though? Sometimes it's like a totally new thing. We'll see.
Therapeutic, or what I would call our therapeutic culture encourages. It's how people are conditioned. And we just can't function this way. And then part of that is, and you see this especially in young people, it's part of what this article is grasping at.
He's going to say trans.
Is that you've got young people that don't understand
themselves.
That suffering and discomfort, anxiety, sadness, these are all normal.
Boy, oh boy. So yes and no. Sadness is normal. Suffering is not normal. We should not normalize suffering. Like that you will suffer at times in your life is normal, right? Like understanding that we have bad days, sure, totally real, but not suffering just all the time. Like I wouldn't say like breaking up with your boyfriend is suffering necessarily or whatever. Like bereavement doesn't necessarily have to be suffering, though I'm sure at the time it can feel as such. Like Catholics, dude. Catholics. They're all like, yeah, actually pain's really good.
This is all part of being human. Mm-hmm. And you will never
get to heaven,
escape them. You just won't.
It has to do.
Okay, so let's steel man it. If you have just a life of suffering, we should mitigate it when we can. Yeah, we should try to mitigate it, and we should try definitely to prepare young adults on how to do it. So I am willing to have kids understand their mental health so that we can have reasonable adults moving forward. That'd be nice. Suffering is the entirety of the Catholic way of thinking. You can only get to heaven if you suffer. Yeah, Mother Teresa was about that. She used to let, she got a lot of praise back in the day, but she used to let her fucking patients suffer so they would go to heaven. She would deny them like painkillers and shit. For their benefit, you see. But, they're mortal people who just suffered for no fucking reason.
And you might say...
Most of my therapists have said that the whole point is to minimize suffering, so this is the antithesis. Absolutely.
Well, that's not fair. So you're telling me that I will always have suffering and that there'll always be pain and sadness in my life no matter what I do? Yeah.
That's not what therapy says. Therapy doesn't tell you that that's not going to be a thing. He needs therapy. This man needs therapy. I would love to sit in the room and listen. I won't talk, promise. I can keep my mouth shut. As a fly on the wall at Matt Walsh's therapist's office. That'd be amazing.
That's human existence. That's what human existence entails. Anxiety especially. It's why I'm always talking about the fact that we turned anxiety into a disease is...
Anxiety especially, meaning Matt Walsh himself experiences tremendous amounts of anxiety, which gives me great joy. And also go to a therapist, dog. Like, if you have lots of anxiety every day, I can tell you I don't. Like, I don't have all the anxiety every day. I have some anxiety, sometimes, mostly around like paying bills. Subscribe immediately. Capitalism is torturous. But other than that, yeah. I mean, that's just so much, man. I wonder what he has to be anxious about. Well, his every day is absorbed in negativity every fucking day, all day.
So insane. And I know that most people still are not far enough along here to. This is. I'm going too far for most people. Even if people that track me up till now, when I suggest that anxiety is not at all a mental illness, that's what. Well, no, that's not true. I have anxiety. It's different for me. You don't understand. I need medicine. My anxiety is different from yours.
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. Wow. Another hot take for the Matt Walsh Hot Take Factory.
It's so much worse. How do you know that? How the hell do you know that?
Fascinating. So the admission that Matt Walsh has lots of anxiety all the time makes a little sense about why he's so fucking shitty. Because he's just stressed constantly because he doesn't address this issue whatsoever.
You're not in anybody else's mind. Do you understand? You're not in anyone else's mind? That you're experiencing these emotions and you're simply assuming that it is so much worse for you than anybody else? Do you understand that that assumption is based in nothing at all?
I hope. Have you ever had a panic attack, Matt? I hope he has panic attacks all the time. That would be... Can you imagine? Oh, that would feel nice. To know that Matt Walsh has regular panic attacks? Fuck yeah.
No, anxiety is part of life. Like, everyone experiences anxiety at some level, like always.
Yep. So when people say they have depression or anxiety, they don't mean a little bit or a normal amount.
Go.
And they mean an abnormal amount. This just all ties back to Matt's fear of being weak. There was this fascinating video doc done by Dead Domain that explores this. Interesting. Maybe his life is a chronic panic attack. We can dream. Ooh, that'd be nice.
I mean, there's always at least
every time he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, he stammers and does this shit.
Like, always. I mean, there's always at least a baseline level of anxiety that undergirds all of human experience.
What? No. What? Whoa. That's a lot. That's more anxiety than I feel.
Well, that doesn't sound very fun. Yeah, it's not. It's not. I'm not saying it's good. It just is, though. And we have now created generations of people who do not understand this. Like, they don't understand what it is to be human.
Matt, it's not normal to have constant anxiety. What? So I went to my doctor and asked about this, and she said it's not normal to be anxious all the time. I'm not anxious all the time. I get anxious around specific things. Right? Like, I have specific anxieties. Making sure I can pay my bills. Dude,
what is wrong with salami?
Mommy issues, maybe a few of them. Mostly daddy issues, maybe a few of them. You know, but being poor has fucked me up more than any other experience in my life. Ever. By a long shot. Every time Matt Walsh goes on a tirade.
You're an emotional fucking cripple. Your soul is dog shit. Every single fucking thing about you is ugly.
That's fucking big true. Bad Santa probably doesn't hold up still, huh? That movie probably didn't age well at all.
That's what's at stake here. What's at stake is a society of people who don't know they don't know how to be people. They don't know what it means to be a person.
What is wrong with salami?
Matt, you should seek help. For your panic attack triggers are hard. See, I stopped reading that exactly the same time you stopped reading that because I was like, maybe I shouldn't read this. Never mind.
I'm glad that some people are starting to catch on very slowly to this issue, but we need to speed it up. We need to speed the realization process up. Because pretty soon we are going to live in a country where literally everybody is on a psychiatric drug and has been numbed into basically unconsciousness.
So when you go to a therapist, you don't necessarily get drugs for anything. You can just go and talk. It's fine. Sometimes you need it. That's crazy. Yeah. Cool. Big lies. Great big lies from Matt Walsh. Are we shocked? That's the end of the video. Are we shocked that Matt Walsh sucks? Matt Walsh sucks, dude. Appropriate medication doesn't numb you. These people's relationship with mental health is so fucking weird, dude. You can perform mental, like, the two things can be true. We can steel man that article wasn't full of shit. And they're like, oh, this is an interesting study. We found some, I don't know, we found some data that suggests that maybe the way we're going about this isn't right. Cool. Versus, like, therapy is bad? Anxiety isn't real? So fucking dumb. I had a panic attack the other day. Dude, I had an ex that would get panic attacks sometimes for kind of no fucking reason. And it was really hard on her. Like, it just sort of sets on. Like, you get the aura around you. You just feel like you're going to fucking, it's going to happen. You know, one thought can trigger a fucking cascade and it just happens. It can just be a situation. It can just be a feeling. The panic attacks where you can't pinpoint the trigger are the worst. Yup. You just have to let them deal with it. Learn that the hard way. That sucks, man. It sucks. It makes holding down a job hard. Well, yeah, especially if you have them a ton. Yeah. Is the nervous system going haywire? It's so scary when you don't know what's causing you to feel that way. Yeah, it's got to be crazy. Like, it's got to be just fucking crazy. When we did Sunday service, Arian talked about that because he had just started his like mental health journey, but he just started going to therapy and stuff after his football days were over, and he talked about like just getting a handle on that and how helpful it was. Super nice. You try to tell yourself you're not dying, but it feels so fucking real. Yeah, he was telling me that same fucking I guess everyone that's ever told me that, they're like, yeah, I'm just dying. This is it. Yeah, I mean, just fuck him, dude. Fuck Matt Walsh, bro.